When you feel the need to be better, you can't keep doing the same thing. My name is Chang and this is 5 of the smartest things I ever did to improve my climbing from V3 to V7. Here we go. Number 1, the moon board. Man, I thought I was a strong climber. Never mind, I thought I was decent climber. And then this board that had always been straight chilling, yes, a villain. Right there in my gym that I always passed by multiple times but never bothered to give it a climb because I much prefer indoor climbing. And then one day, somehow, one way or another, I found my way to doing this board. So I loaded up the benchmarks because I wanted to do the benchmarks. I didn't want anything random. V3, because well, you know, moon board starts at V3. So I got a problem up. I sat down, I held the hose, and as I'm looking up this 40-degree angle wall, I thought, how hard could this be? I could do V3. In fact, I've done V5s inside of the gym climbing. Why would I not be able to do a V3 on a board? And then I proceeded to it was hard, it was terrible, I got smashed. I think that session I managed to do 5 benchmark problems of the V3 variety, of course, as I was going down the list. And then for the next 2 weeks, I did nothing but moonboard. I managed another 6 problems for a total of 11, I think. I was stuck on this one problem called Moonboard Mistress because I was going down the list and I refused to skip. And this one problem stuck me. For 3 whole sessions, I was falling off of one move over and over again. And then my 2 weeks were up and then I went back to gym climbing. And as the months, weeks, no, days, minutes passed by, I eventually got all the V3 benchmarks. And then the V4s, now I was working on the V5s, but then my gym decided to change the layout to the 2019. And I didn't know when they would change it, but they did. They gave us a notice and I walked in and want to know what happened. After climbing for 2 to 3 hours and I was already semi-burnt, I saw the new board and I said, I'm gonna smash out all the V3 benchmarks. And you wanna know what happened? That's right, I smashed out all the V3 benchmarks in under an hour and 30 minutes. And that was when I knew, god damn, I have become somewhat adequate. Number 2, the first V7. I don't care what you say, man. Grades matter. My first V7, I spent hours. Hours working on it, projecting it. And I only had 1 day to do it because I was on a trip. At first, I was trying with my comrades, my compadres. And as they slowly said nay, I continue. And as the day slowly went from bright to dark and the cold came in, they said, we gotta get out, go back to the campsite. I'm staying, I'm sleeping here. And so they left, which was cool, fine, understandable, except for one guy who stayed. And then I proceeded to try all the beta I knew. I proceeded to fall off of the same move over 40, 50, no, at least 100 times. I lost track and it was grueling. Good thing the rock was a good rock because it didn't tear off my skin that much. But even if it did, I didn't care. I was doing it. I don't care if I tore off all 4 biceps. By the way, there's also bicep femoris, not just the biceps brachii. And so I struggled. I fell. And then eventually on one go, I slightly slipped up a little bit, but I didn't dab, so it's all good. So I continued. And as I eyed up the last move, I for it. And I caught it. And then I gurgled my way to the top like Listerine. And then I spat on the rock. Okay, I didn't do that, but I was happy. And that was when I knew I was adequate. I was sufficient. No, nay, I was a cup that was filled to the brim. If I didn't do a V7 that day, when will I? I didn't want to answer that question because I said I'm gonna do it today. Number 3, delusional competition. Now, I will do this thing called selecting random competitors that I knew in real life that I saw on a regular or frequently enough. And I will compare my climbing progress to theirs. Of course, every competitor I chose was much stronger than me, but not so far strong that it would take me forever to catch up to them. And it was great because as I slowly progressed, I was able to touch the things they touch. And some of my imaginary competitors that are actual real humans, I managed to outclimb them completely and then they could no longer touch what I touch. And that in itself was a great feeling of accomplishment that I made for myself arbitrarily using my head, and nobody had to know about it. It was all for me, internal motivation, one would say. I would say, because I do say. Number 4, a long-term goal. I have a goal of establishing a V15 boulder outdoors, obviously. I even have the name picked out, I'm not gonna tell you. And now I don't know how long this goal is gonna take me or how hard it was gonna take me. All I know is I have a 100% chance of failing if I don't try, and I might have a 1% chance of maybe if I do, and that's more than enough for me. And there's no grand reason why I want to do it besides the fact that I want to do it. And you may be wondering why V15, and the answer is because I like the number 15. Number 5, I don't make excuses. I started climbing at 22 years old. I'm very late on the be good at climbing train. I don't make excuses like I'm too short, I'm too weak, I'm too inflexible, blah, blah, blah. Whatever. At the end of the day, I just need to be better. I always take responsibility for my progress. There's no luck. There's no accidents. There are no mistakes. Maybe mistakes, but no accidents. Oogway. Nothing is left to luck. Everything happens for a reason. And if you can understand that reason, that will allow you to become better. And if you don't, you will just remain bitter and confused. And perhaps even the D word. Dumb. Every other month, there's a new prodigy climber that comes out. 10 years old. Started climbing at 5. Well, I'm 26. Started at 22. That means that young lad has an extra year of climbing than me. Of course he's better. Or maybe someone just started a year ago and they're already better than me. I don't care. My goal is not him. My goal is a rock. My name is Chang, and I'll see you next time, partner.